Good morning, everybody in the world. I am going to share us out, and then we are going to have a beautiful time talking about the 4 choices that you have as options to improve any and every relationship you have. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm sharing this into a few groups first because everybody deserves this yumminess and everybody deserves to grow and expand and be happier and improve their lives, right? Hey, Angela, what's going on? So just sit tight with me. I appreciate your patience because I'm just going to share this into a few spots and then we can get started. So good morning. It's Monday. I love Monday. Monday is such an opportunity. Hey, Lisa. And I'm here live, so this means I want you guys to really interact, and I want you to tell me what your questions are, and let me know which of these 4 choices, you struggle with. Maybe all of them, maybe none of them, maybe just a couple. All right, hang on just one second, and then we are ready to rock and roll. Okay. Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. So it is a kind of dreary, grayish, rainy morning here in South Florida. And it's been, woke up really early, dropped my daughter at high school, and then stayed in bed and did my morning work, and it was really, really awesome. You know, sometimes if you stay in bed and do some of the morning work and mindset work and things you want to do, it just feels really yummy and cozy, especially on a morning where it's a little yucky outside, right? You want to help yourself really, really good on the inside. And it's Monday, which means it's beginning of opportunity, right? That's the whole idea. Our paradigm shift on Monday is TGIM. Thank God it's Monday, because you have a beautiful full week in front of you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay? Okay. So for those of you who haven't hung out with me before, I'm Tracy. I'm a mindset coach and a rapid transformational therapist, speaker and founder of The Lit Factor. And I wake up every day to remind you how unstoppable and capable you are. I wake up every day to teach you how to run this thing in between your ears, because your mind doesn't run you, but we were raised to think thank God it's Monday, exactly. We were raised to think it does, but we were raised wrong. And the truth is that you are the director of this thing, right? And when you actually learn what that means and how to apply it, everything changes in your life. And I'm also here to teach you what it means to love yourself and cultivate a relationship that allows you to prioritize yourself and set boundaries and stop putting yourself last and stop people pleasing and getting out of judgment and comparison. I'm just fixing my phone because I don't want the things to block my face, because I've gotten some feedback about that. And that's what we do, because this is your one life, guys. This is your one go. This is it. So what choices are you making? Because they're either bringing you closer to or further away from who you want to be and how you want to feel and what you want to create in this lifetime. And that's what I'm here to do. So hello, and welcome. So we're going to dive right in. Today we're talking about the 4 choices that you have to improve any relationship. Why am I talking about this? So over the course of the past 2 to 3 weeks, my daughter, my husband, and 3 of my clients all had instances, and this is usually like the way that I create content or decide what I'm going to talk to you guys about. It's either because somebody messaged in and asked, a client had an issue, or I'm seeing a theme somewhere, right? And I go, okay, yeah, we got to talk about this. So all of these people around me are having this common theme, and the relationship problem was basically a disconnection in the relationships, and then not accessing the choices that are available to create connection in the relationship, right? So this conversation is based on the decision that you want the relationship to be different, right? You want to feel closer. You want to feel more connected. You want to get rid of the yucky feeling and the separation, right? So assuming that for you, as you're listening to this and growing and taking in what I'm giving you, we are going to go on the base agreement that whatever relationship is currently disconnected or you're having challenge with, you want more out of it, right? Okay, right. And this can be a marital relationship. It can be a sibling relationship. It can be a professional relationship. It can be a friendship. It doesn't matter. All the people in my life that were challenged with this before we did the work on it, which also, so not only am I giving you this, but all of this works because they each went into their lives and executed and like shooting down, bottle cans with I don't even know what I'm saying. It worked. I'm a little slow going this morning because of the yummy darkness outside, so I'm just in a mushier, slower space. But anyway, it works. So here we go, right? So the first choice that is available to you to improve and create more connection in your relationships is to own your shit, right? You must, hey Becky, good morning, right? You must own your shit and stop waiting, right? So the first choice is ownership, which is the first choice on everything, but really realizing, okay, I want it to be different than it is, right? And if you don't change something, the gap grows bigger and bigger and bigger. The disconnection grows bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So the first choice has to be, I don't currently like the way this feels. Good morning, worthy woman, to you too. I don't currently like the state of my relationship, right? Therefore, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own my shit. I'm gonna take radical responsibility for anything I'm experiencing in my life because guys, you must. You must. Anything that you're currently experiencing is coming out of you, okay? And you have ownership. So the first choice you must make to improve anything is to go, wait a second, I'm gonna own my shit, and because I'm owning it, I've decided I'm done waiting. I don't like this disconnection. I don't like this distance. I don't like how it feels, and I want it to feel differently, right? So that's choice one, own it, okay? Own your shit. Anything that's going on in any of your relationships, also, it's time to stop the blame, the outward, and we'll get to that in a second, right? It's about going within yourself, saying what is happening within me that is creating what I am experiencing, and realizing that you choose to actually change something about it. Right? Nothing changes when you just sit back and you lament about it and you think about it and you just hope and you're like, oh, well, maybe one day, or why don't they understand, or why don't they come to me? And what is that? What is that? Just stop it, right? If you don't like the way something is, you become the catalyst to change it. Period, end of story, okay? That's choice one, okay? Choice two. And you'll notice these build on each other. I did that on purpose. Choice two, tell your ego to take a seat, okay? Whether you got to put it in the back seat or you need to put it in a box in the corner, right? Or you have to give it a timeout. Tell your ego to sit down, because when you are trying to connect to another person, especially when there's been disconnection, like in one of these examples, they just hadn't talked in a while. In another one of these examples, they were super, super close and then some shit went down, in the workplace and they barely engaged, they each kind of went to their corners. In another situation, there was, there used to be a really, really tight friendship and then nothing really happened, so to speak, right? But then all of a sudden they were, spinning in their own shit, this is coming, and they weren't engaging anymore and they weren't friends anymore. And I'm like, why aren't you friends anymore? Well, stuff happened. What? No, no. You have choices, guys. You have major choices. All right, Lisa, I struggle with the why don't they come to me issue. Okay, well, pay attention, okay? And the first piece is own it. You decide to stop waiting. You decide you want something to be different. Second choice. Hey, Paige. Second choice. Put your ego down. You guys, your ego and your pride is one of your biggest obstacles to feeling more connected to yourself and to anyone in your relationships. Your ego has no business here. Okay? So you have to choose, right? You have to choose. And Lisa, that's part of what you're struggling with. Well, why don't they come to me? Right? Why do I have to be the one? You're just making up meaning in your head. right? Becky, turn it around and own it. Why don't I go to them? Right, exactly. Why don't you go to them? That's exactly right. It's stop waiting, and this is for everything. Stop waiting for your life to happen to you. Stop waiting for the shit that you're spinning in your head to come to you. You are the thing that goes to it. You create it. Okay? So that's choice 2. Put your ego down. Okay? Because your ego pushes your pride. It pushes your righteousness. Right? It only lights the flame stronger underneath choice 3, which is the stories and the bullshit you're spewing in your head. Okay? So number 1, own it. Number 2, put your ego down. Choice 3, hold on, Kelly, I feel like I always extend out the invite, but they don't come to me to continue the relationship. So then it feels awkward. I'm curious what you mean by extend out the invite and what that really looks like and the intention behind it. So let me know what the answer to that is. Okay, so choice 3, I took notes because I always do. Choice 3 is, okay, and this is huge. Stop listening to your own bullshit, okay? Stop spinning and spewing the stories and the thoughts and the judgments. Because, and I promise you, in every situation you're in where you are having a disconnection in any relationship, you are in judgment. You are. Judgment inherently separates us, okay? Judgment inherently separates us. So if you're in a situation, then you're spinning in, oh, well, they did me wrong, or oh my God, she's just such a bitch, or he's being an asshole, or he's changed so much, or she's just so different, or he's not this, or she's not that. Whatever it is, right, the stories are keeping you disconnected. And the thing about it, oh, look, my mug is so appropriate today. Okay? And the thing about it is you're just sitting there blindly accepting your own limited thinking. You don't have to believe any of that, right? Because most of it are assumptions, interpretations, right? Perceptions of what you think is real, or judgments about the other person. And that is all creating more disconnection, right? So when this one person of the 5, right? I'm trying to protect the innocent here. If they're sitting back and going, yeah, well, they used to be so nice to me or whatever, and then something happened, and now they're just mean and standoffish, and I know that she doesn't think that I'm good at what I do, and da 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 da. You're like, wait a second. You're so far down the rabbit hole, making shit up in your head, and the only thing those stories and thoughts are doing that you're believing, by the way, right, is making you miserable, creating a bigger wedge in the relationship, and here's the punchline, making you think you're right. It's literally making you think you're right. Because what we do, guys, is we create a story, right, which is essentially just like a series of thoughts and statements, right, in like paragraph form, and boom, then you're in a story. So we create a story, and then what that does, because we will always live into our stories, that's just a human fact, right? So whatever thought we're having, even if it's a judgment thought, you will end up, that thought creates a feeling, the feeling puts you into a certain behavior and action, and that action and behavior creates a result. And that result always allows you to point back up into the thought and go, see, I told you I was right, okay? So if in this instance, you feel like separated from this person in your life, and you think she's been different, right? And now she's acting all weird because something went down, and you're going, ugh, and she's so this and she's so that, and I can't believe her, then that's actually causing you to act cold. That's causing you to not be warm. That's causing you to not be open. And then you get to sit back and blame the other person and go, see, they're just exactly what I said. Rude and bitchy and shut down, or whatever the case might be. But the truth is that you're making the choice to believe your thoughts. You're making the choice to sit and spin in that story. And whatever you look for, you will see. Do you hear me? Whatever you look for, you will see. That is how it works. And I don't care if you want the science or you want the woo-woo. That is a fact. It's indisputable. So if you're spinning a story about how someone sucks and how much you're not friends anymore and da-da-da-da-da and you don't this and you don't that and they don't this, you are just going to make that real. So you are actually screwing yourself over if what you're looking for is to feel connected again and to feel aligned, right? Right. All right, let's see what's going on here. So for the exceptions where someone is highly toxic and we need to walk away, we can still make a choice to engage positively. Yes, you are not a victim of your external circumstances. I know up until hanging out with me, you might have believed otherwise. And it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. We just didn't know what we know now. But absolutely, if somebody is toxic, number one, I'm just going to say this. If someone is toxic, and let's define that as mean, hurtful, abrasive, anything like that, right? I want you to stop for a second. And this is actually choice 4. So I love how this always weaves together. If someone is coming off toxic to you, this is another moment where you need to put your ego down. Because if somebody is outwardly toxic, I want you to stop for a second and think to yourself, what must this person be feeling on the inside for them to be showing up like that on the outside? Right? It's not okay to just say, oh, well, they're judgy or they're bitchy or they're this or they're that, they're mean to me. Compassion, people. Hurt people. And everyone has experiences in life, right? And not everybody gets to grow and not everybody listens to the Lit Factor and other amazing personal growth avenues, right? So when you're in a situation, which is why you got to go back to choice 3 and not judge, stop spinning your thoughts out about, oh, this person sucks, da 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 da. Nobody walks around intending to be a fucking asshole. Really, I truly believe nobody's like, oh, I'm going to be mean. I want to be mean. I'm going to be hateful. No, it's because of things that have happened to them. It's because of what's going on in their own inner environment, right? It's because of whatever has gone down within them that is causing them to show up that way. So choice 4, all right, and we'll go back a little bit because this is a great conversation. Choice 4 is choose connection. And the way that you actually choose connection intentionally is to seek curiosity instead of judgment, is to choose compassion, right? Is to choose compassion and love, and to say to yourself, everyone is always doing the best that they can. What would your life be like? How different would your relationships be? How different would your flow and energy and joy and levity and overall fucking happiness be if you adopted the thought, everyone's always doing the best they can in the moment? Let me know. Give me something here because I'm loving that, right? Because it's true. It's true. All right, I'm going to pause and look through our questions. Indifference is toxic as well. Are you asking me or are you telling me? Because I'm not really sure. I'd love a little bit more on that because I don't want to make any assumptions because we're typing and I'm talking back to you. But indifference is toxic as well. It depends. It really depends on how you define that. Let's see. Oh, wow. LOL. I've been so nice to a lot of toxic people. I always be nice, but for some reason this person is so damn rude to me and no one says anything about it. Yeah, again, compassion, people. Compassion. Yep, I had to do that with my older sister, but I told her I wasn't angry and I didn't hate her, but I just had to step away for a period. If I ever believe she's totally clean, I would bring her back into my life, my children's life. Yeah, and listen, when you're dealing with addiction, there are different boundaries. That's a boundary conversation, right? You're still going to have compassion and empathy, but in terms of life involvement, that comes down to your boundaries based on what's going on. So, yeah. Okay, so you're asking, is indifference toxic as well? It depends on the person. It depends on the person because if indifference is like aloofness or I don't give a shit or I don't care, I don't necessarily consider that toxic, but that's a question you have to answer because it needs a little bit more expansion because to each person, indifference means something different, right? If indifference is like, oh, I don't care, like, whatever you want to do, then it's not toxic. You know what I'm saying? So Lisa, if you want to actually lean in with the example that you're currently struggling with, I can help you. All right, let's see if there's anything else that we missed here. Sometimes I don't see all the comments. So if you did comment and I'm not responding, it's not because I am omitting you. It is just because sometimes I don't see it all till after. Lisa, I passed judging myself. What's wrong with me? Why couldn't I say something differently? I'm an awful person. Okay, Lisa, and everyone. This wasn't part of the plan here, okay? So I need you to cut that shit out immediately, okay? Your soul, your life, your dreams will all be interrupted by that kind of behavior. Okay, it's time for you to step up, all of you, and be your own best friend, right? And realize that the words you say to yourself are the most important words you will ever hear in your life. And if you don't start treating yourself well, nobody will, okay? You can only let in the amount of love and receiving that you believe in for yourself, that you allow for yourself. So if you're shitting on yourself, right? Then you can stop wondering why you're not as happy or why you feel stuck or why things aren't going the way you want, right? And Lisa, you've been hanging out with me for a while, so I'm going to say this again. I love you. You're the problem. You're the solution. And you're the only solution they're ever going to be, right? We are our own saviors in that respect, okay? So well, yes, you can do curiosity on yourself, right? But I want you to type in what you can say to yourself instead, okay, of that, all right? And yes, we can go deep dive into where that comes from and all of that, but right now, for the sake of the quick Facebook Live we're on, I want you to start to love yourself. I want you to get into a position right now and think about who you love more than anyone in the entire world. I don't care if it's a friend, if it's a spouse, if it's a sibling, a child, whatever. And I want you to stop, and before you're about to be mean to yourself, I want you to stop and realize your power of choice. And then I want you to simply turn it around and ask yourself, well, what would I say to so-and-so in this moment? What kind of tone would I use with so-and-so, right? What would I tell them, right? How would I show up for them? And then I want you to do that for yourself, okay? Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got. Melanie, you can choose compassion and still choose not to have that person in your life, though. I struggle with forgiveness. This person I'm thinking of is gone. He's dead, and I still haven't forgiven him. Okay, Melanie, first of all, thank you for that. Thank you for that vulnerability. Everybody who's hanging out, whether you're live or on the replay, I want you to just send some love into Melanie, because showing up, guys, and really sharing what's going on, number one, is the gateway to everything you want in your life. That's a different conversation. But for right now, it is something that I want you to all realize, that vulnerability and showing up for yourself that way is huge, because we all need help. So thank you, Melanie. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you an assignment, okay? Here's your assignment. I want you to get out, write a letter. I don't care if you type it or if you handwrite it. I'd prefer you to handwrite it, but do you, okay? And I want you to get out in a letter to this person everything you need to say. Everything you need to say, because I feel you. I too have experienced a lot of loss in my life. Just because someone is no longer physically with us on this earth does not mean that you have lost your window to forgive and let go. Did you hear me? It is not too late. It is never too late. Forgiveness is never about the other person. The forgiveness is about you. It's about setting yourself free, okay? So I want you to write that letter, and I want you to emote, and I want you to say anything and everything you need to say. And this is not about editing it. This is not about judging it. This is not about niceties. You go where you need to go in this letter. If it runs the gamut of anger and sadness and love and appreciation, I don't care, but you need to get this up and out. Okay, and that will be your first step. And then we can continue to work on forgiveness together, because forgiveness is also a practice. And if you get the Get Lit newsletter? If not, go to the website and sign up for it right now, because last week, I think, the volume was all about forgiveness, and I gave a lot of stuff in there about it. I send out a bi-weekly newsletter, everyone in the world who's listening, and it's just value. It's just great shit to help you guys heal and grow and live better lives and grow bigger businesses and all that juicy stuff. So go on the website. It's on like the top bar, and subscribe. And then I can send you the forgiveness one, because it had some stuff in it. Okay? Okay, so start with that, Melanie. And compassion, and still choose to not have this person in your life. Well, at this point, if they've moved on, they're not in your life, but they very much are still around you. So I want you to heal, and I want you to feel better, because forgiveness is a gift to yourself. Anyone who is raised that forgiveness is letting someone off the hook, or forgiveness is condoning someone's behavior, or you were brought up to see a whole bunch of people hold on to a lot of resentments and not talk for years, that is all wrong. That is all killing your souls. That is all unhealthy for your well-being, okay? It is creating a really, really disturbed inner environment. It is going to create physical illness for you if you don't heal it, okay? So, write that letter. Lisa, friends for years, she moved on, it seemed. I reached out by calling, texting, invitations over a period of time. I asked her if I did anything to annoy her. Her response was I was needy, and I have not heard from her again. That was a 10-year friendship. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something that I don't know where I came up with this when I was younger. In high school, I started saying this to myself. I've now taught it to my kids and anyone who's willing to listen. If they don't want you, you don't need them. Okay? So, and you do that with love and light. You send them off with compassion and acceptance. This is the caveat. You don't send them off with fuck her or whatever, I wasn't needy. It doesn't matter. Not all relationships are meant for lifetimes. And that's okay. It's okay to break up with certain relationships that have hit their expiration date or are no longer serving you or are no longer aligned with who you want to be in this world, right? I truly forget who said it, and if anyone's on and remembers that, you are like the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with or something like that. So it's okay. Just let it go with love and light. And I want you to use this mantra, every single one of you. If they don't want you, you don't need them. Okay? You have some fucking self-worth, people. Honor yourself. People are lucky to be in your presence. And if someone doesn't jive with you, okay, cool, you're not compatible. Bye-bye. Love you. That's all. It's not a discount on anyone. It doesn't mean you're better than or worse off or they're better or you're worse or vice versa. It just doesn't work out. And you, because you have insane inner power, don't have to sit and make it mean something, because we create meaning and infuse it into everything, and that's one of the biggest problems that everyone has, right? You can just say, okay, whatevs, they don't want me, I don't need them, moving on, and I'm going to open up the space, because now a friend that's really aligned with who I am is going to drop right in front of me, and I'm going to meet her at like Starbucks or something, or PTA meeting, or at a business networking event, and we're going to be besties. Okay? Okay. All right, so let's see what else. I need to hear this. You're welcome. I've dealt with someone very dear to me that has taken the wrong path in life, and I've always allowed this person back around until recently when I've been belittled and assaulted. How many more times can I keep this around? Well, how long do you want to be treated like that? This is another boundary conversation. It becomes, what am I willing to be available for and what am I willing to not be available for? And if you want to be in my life because I do feel connection to you, because you said this is a dear person to you, right? You can, but not under those circumstances. And no, you can't treat me that way because I won't allow it, right? And then that person has their own choice to make. You don't have to be the bearer of everything. You're not responsible for everybody. That's probably another one you should all write down. All right, LOL, my husband has always said the relationship has run its course. Yeah, exactly. That's totally acceptable. Okay, so now we're going to have a little recap. Okay, the recap is choice 1, own it. Stop waiting. The longer you don't own it and you wait for the other person to come around or do something, the larger the gap in between the relationship grows, and the more challenging it is to bring it back around, okay? Cheryl, I see that and I'm going to address it. Nobody leave because this is about to be a really good conversation, okay? Choice 2, put your ego down in the back seat of the car, put it to sleep, wrap it in a box, put it on a shelf. I don't care what you do with it, but when you're trying to connect, your ego will be your obstacle, okay? Because your ego drives pride and righteousness and how you're not wrong and how they are, because your ego thinks it's protecting you in some way, but it's not at all, and it's really, really screwing with your ability to feel compassion and feel empathy and be more connected, okay? Okay, choice 3, stop believing everything you think. Stop spinning out in the shit you're making up in your head about the other person, because I promise you, none of it is true, okay? It's only true to you, Okay, that's the other thing, right? We only live in what's true for us, and you're only seeing it through the glasses and the lens that your life experience comes from, right? So you're just sitting in judgment and assumption and interpretations, which is all complete made up bullshit, and you're sitting back and you're believing it like it's true. Therefore, it's becoming your reality, okay? So choice 3, stop believing everything you think, and choice 4 to create more connection is choose connection, which looks like compassion and empathy and love and the fundamental belief that everyone is doing the best they can in the moment. In the moment. And even if you don't want to believe it anyway, because doesn't it fucking feel better to believe it? This is what it's about when you're able to really, really understand how to run this thing and how to make these choices. Okay, so I'm going to pause. There's a link above this live to join the choice experiment, guys. It starts October 22nd. It's 5 free days of working with me and getting in touch with yourself and peeling back some of your bullshit and learning some little choices you can make that are going to help grow your own awareness and help you drop into the seat of choice. Because if you are living up here spinning in your head, you are not in the seat of choice. You are in the seat of, I don't feel like I have a fucking choice. I'm a victim. Why is this always happening to me? Okay? So you have to drop out of this and you've got to drop down into this. And when you do, that's when you're sitting in the seat of choice. And that's when you can change every single thing in your entire life. There is no gray here. This is the way it is. Okay? Okay. So now I'm going to go back because I really want to honor you, Cheryl, and answer that. Yeah, even when it's your daughter. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I have 3 daughters, so I just want you to know anything I'm saying, I am not coming from a place that I don't understand what it's like to be a parent of girls and the woman thing too, right? Yeah, even when it's your daughter, it makes it really challenging, and I validate and love you right now. And thank you for your vulnerability, everybody. Give her a little lovin', okay? But absolutely, because you still have worth. I don't care who you are, you don't get to shit on me. What, just because I birthed you, you get to treat me like disrespectfully? No, absolutely not. If anything, if there was a variance, there should be held to a higher standard than the average bear because of what you've given her in life and how you've been there for her and whatever else has gone on. And I understand that it's challenging, and you know what, this becomes really, really a big topic for everybody because this is where we get into this weird enabling of our children, right? Which is really, really detrimental to them. We feel like it's love. Because we can't imagine like not fucking saving them at every breath and not allowing them to just do what they want to do at every waking moment, right? But the truth and the reality is that the best thing we can do for our kids is let them fall flat on their fucking faces, right? And say, nope, it is not okay. You cannot talk to me like that. I want to see something about your original comment. Hold on. Right, and I also understand because you mentioned she's taking the wrong path. I just want to say something to you because my gut's telling me to say it. It's not your fault. You're not responsible for the path she chose. Sure, do we all have influence and things happen? Okay, but I also understand, and if you want to chime in actually, Cheryl, and tell me how old she is, that might be helpful. So if you want to tell me that would be great. But you are not responsible. My assumption based on what you're saying is that maybe she's a little bit older. So I need you to know that first, right? Because if you're feeling any guilt for the wrong path she chose, then the choice, guys, pay attention here to how frequently I use the word choice. The choice to allow the guilt, which stems from your choice of taking responsibility for her actions, will push you in a place to choose to allow her to shit on you. Okay? So the challenge with you not being able to say, nope, I'm not available for this. You are not allowed to treat me this way. I will not tolerate it. I don't care if you're Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, the president, or my daughter. I have fucking standards, right? I am a human being who's worthy and enough, and no. right? Okay. Oh, sorry you lost the video. Okay. So ultimately, you want to pay attention to if you're taking responsibility for any of you listening, because we all have similar themes. Everyone walks around thinking their problems are so unique and so special. They're not. We're all suffering from the same shit. So just understand that if you are taking ownership, then you're choosing that, and then you end up choosing guilt, because guilt is what we rub ourselves down with when we want to punish ourselves, by the way. And then that's driving you feeling like you can't put the boundary up because you feel so guilty. So reach out to me and let me know how that feels or if it resonates with you. You're back. All right, Cheryl, let me know if you caught that. So guys, so that's it. So today is about your 4 choices. If you haven't joined the choice experiment, do it now. It's free. It's 5 days of you growing and connecting to yourself, okay? There is no reason in the world that you wouldn't say yes to 5 days of hanging out with me, first of all. I mean, come on. How much fun are we gonna have? We'll do a little dancing. I'm gonna show up for you. You guys are gonna dig a little bit on yourselves. You're gonna make a couple new choices. And it's not gonna be like intense and crazy, like in terms of like 5 days, right? So I don't want you to scare yourself. What I want you to realize is that you are going to start to touch base with what needs to change. You're gonna start to really understand, oh my God, look at all these choices, right? Because that's what your life is based in. It's based in choice. And I need to be able to teach you exactly how to choose so you can change everything in your life. All right, Cheryl, you said not the end part. You will catch it. I want you to go back into it. Yes, join the 5 days and share this out. Share this out. I want everyone to share it out. She's 37, Cheryl. Thank you so much. You're not responsible, okay? At 37, she is a grown-up. She needs to take responsibility for herself, right? And again, I don't know the whole story, so it's notwithstanding that there aren't things to heal, okay? Because we all have ownership. We all have ownership. We all have influence. We raise our children. We do drip our shit on them. Don't think you don't, because you do, right? Things happen as a result of who we are. However, she is a grown-up, and she needs to own it. And I'm curious, have you guys worked on anything together? Have you done any healing, right? What kind of opportunities do you have to heal yourself and so she can heal herself? Because the other thing my gut is telling me right now is, how possible is it that her not practicing her forgivenesses, her own discomfort and unhappiness with herself and her choices, and not healing some of the stuff that she's experienced through her upbringing of her own, right? That's causing her to be really resentful and upset. I adopted her 2 children and she blames me. Okay, well, Cheryl, if you want to really dig and you want some help on this, then reach out to me, because I think and know that some coaching and some support would be huge for you in every area of your life. And you're joining the choice experiment, so that's where it's going to start anyway. So start there or message me. Yeah, okay, listen, you don't have to let it in. Cheryl and everyone, I'm just going to add this on too. You don't have to let it in. When someone says something to you that is hurtful, okay, it is not about you, okay? It is not about you. You are not responsible for them, and you have another choice. And the choice is to not let it in. If somebody came on this live right now, which by the way has absolutely happened, you know how many lives I do? How many times I've heard things like, oh, you're so lovely, but your cursing is terrible, or you need to find God, or who do you think you are, or whatever comments are, right? I usually just say thanks for sharing and I move on, because I don't agree with it. I'm not going to let that in, right? Because if you let something in, then you're now attached to it. And if you find yourself defending yourself, it means you've already let it in and now you're trying to defend against it, okay? Your opinion is the only opinion that matters. And rejection is not a thing unless you make it a thing, right? And hurtful comments aren't a thing unless you let them in. Okay? Okay. So I love my cursing too. It's part of who I am. If you don't like it, then I love you, but this is not the place for you. I say I don't receive that if someone says something like that. Yeah. Or you could just say, I would even, Christy, just say thanks for sharing, because it holds a better energy than I don't receive that. Right? Thanks for sharing. Right? But I'm not going to let it in. So there you go. All right, my lovelies. Well, this has been amazing. Share it out, join it. And I really want to know, if you're not joining the choice experiment that's free, that's going to be able to start to change your life, I want you to message me or put in the comments why not, because I am baffled. I'm baffled. Okay? This is free. It's 5 days. It's for you. Get in there. Do something for yourself. Everything in your life is available to you. You are amazing. You are limitless. You are enough. You can make it happen. Okay? Mwah. Good. Thanks for sharing. I'm adopting that. Love you too. Have a beautiful, beautiful. I've never seen you before. For some reason, you've touched my soul. I needed it this morning. Cheryl, I love you. And thank you for that, because that is why I'm here. I am here for that exact reason. So thank you, because that's where it comes from. All right, everybody. Mwah, I love you. Treat yourself well. Talk to you soon. Bye.